My best friend left me everything. Then strangers came knocking. My best friend Evan died on a Tuesday. That's not poetic or symbolic. It just happened. A random Tuesday in March, halfway through the week, like the universe couldn't even be bothered to wait for the weekend. Car accident. No witnesses. Single vehicle collision on a rural road he drove all the time. That's what the police told me. I didn't cry right away. I think my brain put it on pause, like buffering. Evan was the kind of constant you don't imagine disappearing. He'd been my best friend since middle school. We grew up in each other's houses. His parents trusted me with their spare key. My mom used to joke that she had 2 sons and only gave birth to 1, so when his sister called, sobbing so hard I could barely understand her, I just sat on my bed and stared at the wall. The funeral was small. Closed casket. I remember thinking that was strange, but I didn't ask. No one wants to be the guy asking logistical questions when everyone else is grieving. Afterward, people hugged me and said things like, "He talked about you all the time, and you were basically family." I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. 3 days later, I got a call from a law office I'd never heard of. The woman on the phone spoke carefully, like every word had been pre-approved. "Evan listed you as the sole beneficiary in his will," she said. I laughed. Actually laughed. "That's not funny," I said. "He has a sister." "Parents." "Yes," she replied. "They received personal items and a financial settlement from his insurance. But the remainder of his estate was left to you." I asked how much money we were talking about. She paused. "Not money," she said. "Property and other assets." I should have said no. I know that now. Instead, I agreed to meet. The office was downtown, glass and steel and way too expensive looking for the news they were delivering. The lawyer slid a manila folder across the table. Inside was a deed to a small cabin in the mountains, about 2 hours away. I recognized the place instantly. Evan used to disappear up there. Long weekends, no signal. He'd come back quieter, focused. When I asked what he did up there, he'd just shrug and say, "Reset." I flipped the page. There was a handwritten note. "If you're reading this, it means I didn't make it back. I'm sorry for what this puts on you. You were the only one I trusted to do the right thing." That was it. No explanation. No instructions. "What am I supposed to do with it?" I asked. The lawyer hesitated. "There's also a storage unit registered under the property," she said. "Contents included." I didn't even know Evan had a storage unit. I drove up to the cabin that weekend. I told myself it was for closure, that I'd sort through his stuff, maybe scatter some ashes if his family approved. Something normal. The road up the mountain was empty. No cell service after mile marker 12. The cabin looked exactly the same as I remembered. Small. Weathered. One light on the porch that flickered when I opened the door. Inside, everything was clean. Too clean. No dust, no clutter. Just a single table in the middle of the room. And on it, a locked metal case. I knew instantly it wasn't meant for me. I also knew Evan wouldn't have left it there unless he wanted me to open it. That's when I heard footsteps outside. Slow, deliberate. And someone knocking on the door who definitely wasn't supposed to be there. I didn't answer the door. I held my breath, heart hammering so loud I was sure whoever stood outside could hear it through the wood. The knock came again. 3 times. Harder. "Evan?" A man's voice called. Calm. Too calm. "I know you're in there." My stomach dropped. I stepped back, eyes flicking to the single window on the far wall. Dark outside. No car lights. No sound of an engine. Just him. "I don't want trouble," the man said. "I just need what's mine." Mine. I didn't know what he meant, but I knew he wasn't talking about the cabin. "I'm calling the police," I shouted, immediately hating how thin my voice sounded. He laughed, quietly. "There's no signal up here," he said. Evan knew that. The name coming from a stranger's mouth made my skin crawl. I backed toward the table, my hand brushing the metal case. Heavy, solid, industrial. The doorknob turned, slowly. It was locked, but the pressure was deliberate, like he was testing it. Measuring. "Open it," he said. "You don't know what you're holding." I grabbed the case and bolted for the back door. The woods swallowed me instantly. Cold air snapping branches, my lungs burning as I ran downhill with no path, no plan. I didn't stop until I tripped and rolled into a ditch, clutching the case like it might explode. I stayed there for an hour. When I finally crept back, the cabin door was open. Inside, everything else was untouched. Except the table. Carved into the wood, deep and angry, was a symbol I'd never seen before. And underneath it, a message. "You're late." I drove straight to the storage unit the next morning. Inside were boxes, documents, hard drives, phones, and a wall covered in photos. Maps, strings, names, some circled, some crossed out. At the center was Evan, and next to his picture, mine. I didn't sleep that night. I spread everything across my apartment floor like a crime scene, trying to make sense of it. Evan hadn't just been resetting in the mountains. He'd been hiding, investigating. The documents mentioned shell companies, land purchases, missing persons reports that never made the news, patterns, routes, and the symbol from the cabin. It was everywhere. Painted on buildings, etched into trees, tattooed on arms in grainy surveillance photos. One file was labeled Successors. Inside were profiles, people who had taken over after someone died, sometimes willingly, sometimes not. I found a final video file. Evan's face filled the screen. He looked exhausted, afraid. "If you're watching this," he said, "they're already watching you. I tried to stop it. I couldn't. The only way out is to finish what I started, or disappear completely." The video cut off. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text message. "You can't run forever." Evan tried, then another. "We'll see you soon." That's when I realized something horrifying. Evan hadn't died by accident. He'd been replaced. And now, so was I. They came 3 nights later, 2 men, 1 woman, polite, well-dressed, standing outside my building like they belonged there. "We're here to help," the woman said when I cracked the door. "Evan made things complicated. You don't have to." They explained the choice. Take Evan's place, keep things running, keep people quiet, or refuse. I asked what happened if I refused. The man smiled. "You disappear," he said. "One way or another." I told them I needed time. They gave me until sunrise. That night I packed everything, the case, the drives, Evan's note. I drove back to the cabin. Because Evan hadn't trusted me to survive, he'd trusted me to end it. As dawn broke, headlights flooded the clearing. They were already there, waiting. I don't know how long it's been since that morning. The cabin burned. Everything inside it, gone. Officially, it was an electrical fire. Unofficially, something much older ended there. They never came after me again. No knocks, no messages. Evan's name vanished from databases that once tracked him. Mine never appeared. I moved, changed numbers, started over. Sometimes, though, I see the symbol carved into places it shouldn't be. Sometimes I get calls that hang up as soon as I answer. And sometimes I wonder if I really destroyed it, or if all I did was pass it on.